G'day ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to what should be a cracking game of football here at the WA Athletic Stadium. We've got the Women's Australian Gridiron League National Championship final between the Queensland Sun Devils and the Victoria Eagles. Kenny Andreas, looking forward to this one, mate.
Absolutely. The Queensland Sun Devils, they're aiming to do the three-peat, something that's evaded the Gridiron Queensland program as a whole, both the juniors and the men's, the women's, looking to be the one to get the job done, but they've got one heck of an exciting opponent trying to prevent that with the Victorian Eagles. Victorian Eagles have come in with one of the most fast-paced, high-flying offenses that have led to them averaging over 30 points a game. And their defense, well, I think it's fair to say this defense is better than the one that Queensland faced back on Monday.
Yes, yeah, I think we saw 80 points scored in that first game back on Monday. These teams came in pretty much unknowns against each other in that very first game of the tournament. This is the way we opened it, and this is the way we're going to close it. But they've seen them play, three games over the last couple of days, and no doubt they've made some defensive adjustments, having seen each other play a few games.
Absolutely, you nailed it there. Unknowns to a degree. Obviously, there was a lot more tape on Queensland than you would find on Victoria coming into this game, but they've got, 3 games now of footage, including one where they've played each other to suss each other out. So this will be much more of a chess match than game 1 was. And of course, the two offenses were going tit for tat in that opening half there. It was almost possession for possession before Queensland ultimately managed to find a way to slow the Victorian Eagles down. Make no mistake, the Victorian Eagles would have seen what adjustments Queensland made in that second half, and they've now found answers to that. So that just means that we're potentially going to get more points. And compared to night 1, where we were competing at 4 p.m., which had that big 10-degree drop almost down to, or should I say down to 10 degrees. This is bright, warm, sunny conditions, really conducive to high-powered offenses. So I think we're going to see both offenses here at their full potential.
Yeah, as the sun sort of starts to head down, we might see some shadows start to encroach on the field as well, which will add an extra layer to this game. But as we did with the first game, we just want to quickly, for the viewers, who are the players to watch? First of all, for the defending champions, the Queensland Sun Devils.
Well, it's hard to go past, old Christy Moran, Special K, number 6, who scored 8 touchdowns this tournament.
I don't know if she'll like the old bit. But
she'll be fine. But, she scored 8 touchdowns in this tournament. That's including a game where last game she only had 2 carries, where she took both of which 4 touchdowns. And then on the defensive side, Ella Briscoe has proven to be a bit of a force in the middle at that linebacker position.
And just quickly before we kick off, for Victoria, who are the players to watch for them on offense and defense?
Well, conversely, Victoria's equivalent of Christy Moran is Jordan DeMizio. And quite frankly, both of these two players could be fighting off for a tournament MVP spot in this game. So we'll see how that goes. But obviously, defensively, I'm keeping my eyes on number 99, Miss Shirley Acera. She exploded in night 2 and has been a beast in the middle of that defense.
I can't argue at all with any of the players you've highlighted. So in the 6th jersey, Kirsty Moran for the Queensland Sun Devils, and on defence for Queensland, the 22. For Victoria, the 27 on offence will be the one to watch. And the 99 in defence, she'll be looking to get up and put some real pressure on the Queensland offence as we see the kick goes down, and it's with that Trias Mono. Trias Mono looks to step around one, but can't, and she's rounded up very, very well by Rachel Cribb. And that's a good start for the Victorian defence to prevent Trias Mono from getting too many yards there.
Well, yeah, I was going to commend them there, giving them a deep kickoff to Cresta Trias Mono, who hasn't had that opportunity on special teams to break one, and well, definitely wasn't getting the opportunity there. You used to mention Cribb, but also Isabella Paholek took a fantastic lane down the field. And Cubis
to start at QB. She gets the pass out to Marissa Hayes. And we won't have a lot of time for replays in this game because both these teams do like to play that hurry-up style offense, so they'll come straight back to the line. There'll be no time to breathe for anyone out there as we get back underway straight away, Queensland. After that completion to Hayes. Cubis again looking for the pass. incomplete on this occasion. Again, looking for Hayes, so 2 plays in a row they've looked for Marissa Hayes.
Yeah, look, trying to get Marissa Hayes involved. She's got a touchdown last game, her first. She's been doing a lot of blocking this tournament and is quite the receiver. She was an outback wide receiver, does possess receiving talent. So obviously looking, trying to get her involved.
So Cubits this time looking to pitch to the outside to Moran. Moran unable to find too much space before she is chopped down by Webster.
Enough for her to move the chains, I would believe, though.
Yeah, certainly got past the marker.
And while we've talked about the, and you touched on it briefly there, we talked about the no huddle from Victoria. Queensland run the exact same thing.
Cubis looking long and taken through the middle of the field. And away they go for the opening touchdown, and it's Riley Hodgson.
Well, we knew offenses were going to play a huge part in this, and Gold Coast Golden Girl Riley Hodgson, she has had a tough tournament so far. We're right there. She hits the big play she's been looking for all tournament.
Well, we spoke briefly to Riley Hodgson on Thursday night, and she said that she's been open all tournament, and QBs just need to have a look, and they found her on that occasion wide open, in space, through the middle of the park, and goes away to score the first touchdown of the National Championship final.
And that's some funky stuff there. They add a bit of a rollout action to the quarterbacks there. I don't think I've seen a whole lot of that this tournament, so they've clearly put a couple of players in the back pocket for the championship game.
Looking to get to Moran. Good tackle again. This time the 93, Kylie West, who we haven't seen a lot of since night one. She was.
The thing is, though, we haven't mentioned her, so every time she has been on, she's been making some key plays, but she might be taking another stint on the sideline there. She's hobbling off.
She does have a bit of a limp, but just prevents the 2-point conversion. Which I think is another first for Queensland, in that I think they've been successful with the first 2-point conversion in every game so far.
Well, that's a fun factor that could be the separator between these two teams. 2-point conversions. Now, we had the numbers you'd drawn up for the previous couple of games, and Queensland seemed to hold the significant advantage when it comes to 2-point conversions between these two teams.
Yeah, Queensland have converted 10 from 19 throughout the tournament, whereas Victoria just 3 from 12.
Yeah, so there's at least 20 to 30% difference between those two teams there, and those points quite literally add up.
Yeah, when you're going up in 8s instead of 6s, it makes a huge difference. And on night one, these teams basically traded touchdowns throughout the game, but Queensland always had their nose in front because of those 2-point conversions.
And that's exactly right. And if that's the situation arises today where they're just going to trade touchdowns, well, it's easy maths even for me there. 2-point conversions will be the difference.
Follow. That one sits on the ground for a long, long time before Victoria eventually get down and get on the ball. Through Ildama. She'll certainly be another one to watch. I know we only highlighted Jordan DeMizio, but they've got a few weapons on offense, this Queensland team.
Yeah, well, it was described there. Ildama is the left hook to Jordan DeMizio's straight right in this offense. The moment you cover one, the other one will take advantage. They found different ways to use both of those threats.
So Ildama and Russell in the backfield. They go to Russell. He's hit, stopped, basically at the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up second down.
What I like about Russell, her first couple of steps, she doesn't waste a whole lot of movement. And that's why, while she hasn't busted some big gains, you probably got very few tackles for a loss under her name.
Kelly in movement, gets it to Ildama, and Ildama breaks it to the outside, and here goes Teresa Ildama. Ildama all the way downfield, too much speed. And Teresa Ildama. How good is that?
Well, keep your coins in the pocket. There's no laundry on the field, and he'll let the let the touchdown trade-off begin. Ildama with the immediate fire back for Victoria. Once again, they motion Jordan DeMizio over to the right side there, and that immediately gets eyes looking that way. Ildama back the other way. If DeMizio is going to command all the attention, Ildama could end up putting in a a national championship MVP performance today.
We saw the effort from Jess Anderson trying to get across in and cover that up, but just didn't have the pace to go with Ildama. So Pulis Kassar over the top and incomplete, so we're at 6 points apiece early in this Women's Australian Gridiron League National Championship Final.
We talked about the contrast between this game and the Bronze Bowl we just saw before. That was all about defense. This game is going to be an offensive shootout, and we haven't had to wait long for that to happen.
The trading blows already. These two just stand in the middle of the ring and just throw leather inside a phone booth to keep that boxing analogies going.
Let's see if there's a lot of swag on this Victorian Special Teams unit. I reckon they're going to just kick it deep back to Kiestra Trias-Mono once again. Not to forget, I think, and I might have to use your specs here, but I think that's also Christy Moran in the backfield, so.
It is indeed.
So.
Good eyes. Very good eyes.
A lot of swag here. Boom. I love it.
And straight down the middle, and it's Moran that picks it up. So Moran brings it back. Trias-Mono gives her a bit of a crease, but the defensive unit of Victoria holds up.
That is so impressive. And that shows significant discipline on special teams there, to hold your lanes there, to shed blocks well enough to make sure that you've got a line formed well enough to gang tackle.
So Queensland again wasting no time. Back to Cubis. Cubis looks to the outside with Marissa Hayes. The short yardage completion for Queensland.
And what's that? Hayes' third target there. This time finding a way to get positive yardage. In the first couple of games, she was left to really catch a lot of flat passes and got a couple of receptions, but couldn't really turn them into yardage. That time she pretty much doubles her receiving yards for this tournament.
Cubis again looking to the pass. That time overshoots Hayes.
And for a right-handed quarterback,
looking for Taylor Roberts. Sorry.
Yeah, for a right-handed quarterback, it's a hard throw to make because it's a lot of movement involved, because you've got to get your hips back into position so you can throw that ball. Any sort of laziness or lack of execution there, and you can see the pass sails or falls well short.
Once again, wasting no time. Hodgson gets it, spins away from one. Riley Hodgson. Riley Hodgson cuts back in field. And so far, the discipline from both teams has been impeccable. I don't think we've seen a flag yet.
Yes, I know. And well, we've got the most disciplined team in the tournament. Queensland only averaging 30 yards of penalties over the tournament. Victoria, in a bit of contrast, tied for third in discipline, just under 100.
Another pass goes over and it's put down. Well, Casey Cubis, she's putting it on a dime at the moment. Cody Fuller, that one landed right in her lap, but she's, unfortunately for her, she's put that one down.
Cody Fuller scored that 2-point conversion in that first game impressively at the back of the end zone. Also scored a touchdown of her own.
Trias-Mono just swaps sides there. And she looks on the outside, Cubis, but she goes the run for herself towards that first down marker. She's short of that target. Not by much.
And once again, we're talking about defending that speed option, and the whole point of the play is to get it to the running backs. Victoria already proving to be handling that speed option a lot better than they did day one.
It's a third down. There's Cubis. It opens up for her. She sees the first down marker, goes well beyond that. Now Casey Cubis into space. And it takes a while before Clara Yip is able to stop her well past the first down marker, and they get a new set. Now Queensland, that'll be first and goal. 5 yards out.
And Cubis, she's got a lot of bruises on her arms from this tournament. She's probably going to have to get a few more with the way Victoria's defending.
This time does pitch to the outside to Trias-Mono. Trias-Mono! I think she's just short, gone out just short.
To the viewers, we've got to be honest here. When that ball goes to that far side of the field, it all turns into a bunch of shadows for us, so we're really relying on the footage on the screen.
I was just trying to work out exactly where the sideline was on that one. I think she went out over the sideline just short, but second and inches. So drop back. Hodgson dives forward, full length. Incomplete.
And she made a heck of an effort on that one. And here's the thing, Victoria, they're stacking the line, I think, and they're trying to win this on pressure. But that's leaving one-on-one on the outside, and we've seen a couple times. Hodgson loves that one-on-one coverage, and she's going to try to make him pay. That time, the pass a bit too low, but a slant on the goal line against heavy pressure. Hodgson, Cubis, especially with Cubis' height, she'll love that.
And we've got a timeout here, and Trias Mono is making way for Christy Moran. So in the big situations, you go to your big weapons.
Trying our best to get our referees. We've got some sort of communication with the referees at the moment, so we'll try to keep you updated throughout the game a little better with time. The scoreboard's unfortunately malfunctioned. Just updating there. Victoria just used their first timeout.
So defensively, Victoria have been better on this drive, but Queensland still able to consistently move the sticks. And third and a couple of blades of grass. We get it out, and it's with Moran. Moran gets her first touchdown of this contest.
Flags are down though, and we'll have to see whether it's offensive or defensive holding there between the wide receivers and the defensive backs.
See if we can pick up anything on that replay. There's nothing that we can see on that shot.
The other option is they're possibly going to say it's a block in the back by Taylor Roberts, but I'm pretty sure the defender might have just fell there, so.
We missed the call from Jamie Owes. But the ball is coming back, so no touchdown.
On the Sun Devils, Jamie Owes now, 454 games, I believe.
So still third down, but Queensland have lost some territory. Looking back, Cubis runs to the outside, looking for the pass option with Fuller. Can't link up.
Yeah, good pressure there by Victoria, forcing Cubis to sort of just loft that a bit more than she wanted to.
Well, fourth down. Could we see the first defensive victory here?
It'll be a huge one, and I expect that sideline to explode if it does. That Victorian sideline, they'll know how big of a deal that is.
Once again, they go through the air, and it's... Oh, she reaches out there, but it's going to be just short.
And I think that's probably the right call, but gosh, that reminds me of that Super Bowl with the Rams, the LA Rams, and how they're short they came up there, inches in fact, with Riley Hodgson reaching out there, unfortunately. But still, nonetheless, a huge win there for Victoria. They're not in a great position right now, and they're going to probably want to be careful here because the safety could play just as big of a factor. But still, props to that Victorian defense.
So Victoria, some massive plays coming up for them now. We see Samantha Kelly in motion. They go to Russell. Russell gets to the first down marker, and what a play, Victoria.
And I don't know, we'll see it on screen, but there was some amazing downfield blocking by Victoria. I think Nat Jones was one of those. Maybe we'll see it on the back end of this. They are about to run a play, but a couple of great downfield blocks. Love it.
Just had enough time for a very, very quick replay. This time Demizio in motion. Again, they go to Russell, and again she finds some space and gets another first down. Tanya Russell.
Once again, look at the patience. Waits for another collar to cross her face, another collared jersey, puts the foot in the dirt and accelerates forward.
Well, we've been waiting for the Victorian MVP to have one of these sorts of games, and she started this one on fire. And Tanya Russell, another first down. She just keeps it moving.
And this Queensland tackling is going to be need to improve because Tanya Russell is shredding them up right now. What is that? 3 first downs in a row for TR.
And with that hurry-up offense, there's no chance for the Queensland to make any adjustments on the run through this drive. So they're just going to keep rolling forward and try and work out some way to change things around. And this time, Russell gets stopped.
Finally come through. Rochelle Ware coming in and making it a play, but the momentum still with the Victorians. Once again, despite that stop, not for a loss.
So 2nd and 9 for Victoria. Plenty of players moving about. I think Pulis Kassar has called the timeout.
I thought for sure that was going to be Queensland with the way the Victoria's running this down their throat. Queensland are going to be very grateful now. They'll have an opportunity to swap defensive linemen if necessary, but they have got what I would say some of their speed package of D-line out there. Rochelle Ware probably moving to end and hope to sort of combat with the no huddle offense. Well, I guess when you start getting on this roll there, you don't want to get lost in that. And if you need to make an adjustment, you need to make the call, and you need to reset there, and you can't be afraid to call the timeout if necessary.
Yeah, Pulis Kassar, she was barking instructions at a team, and they weren't quite doing exactly what she wanted, so called the timeout. That's one thing for Victoria. It's not against the rules for them to huddle up before a play, so if they need to, then they could always do that rather than calling the timeout. But
not their style.
Once they got set, it's just the way they do things, the way they roll.
And it is a bit of a mentality you need to get behind. You know, too many coaches, I think, when they try to install that, they try to make it an aspect, they try to do it too late. I think if you want to run a hurry-up offense, you need to start with that. You need to start practicing like that day one.
Pulis Kassar with Bliss Love on her outside. No movement on this occasion. She drops back, looking to pass, going very, very long. And Ildama has taken the grab. Well, that's spectacular.
And this time it's Ildama getting the corner out. That corner out's been money for Victoria throughout this tournament. We saw Demizio score a long-range one. Ildama gets the money that time. Once again, if they are playing this man coverage, but I'm seeing 2 safeties now. That corner will be money, and if they've even tempted the idea of a cover 2 against that corner out can work, provided you hold that cornerback underneath. I'm seeing defensive end from Western Australia, Rihanna Edbrook, walk past commentary booth. She played through some illness today.
So Victoria, after coming up with a massive defensive play down the other end, they're right on the attack after that completion to Teresa Ildama. Pulis Kassar looking for glory. Can't link up on this occasion with Paholek. The flag down on the field. And we'll try and listen into Jamie Owers to see exactly what the call is here.
Eligible receiver downfield on the offense. Penalties declined, 2nd down.
Apparently we haven't seen too many of them.
Apparently not. I challenge it, but they show me the numbers, and I guess I'm so not used to seeing them that when they happen, I probably attribute a few more calls than they're worth. But
so it goes back again. Pulis Kassar looking for the end zone. Demizio reaches out, another flag. Goes down very late. And of course the defender there was Tiafi Thurston.
Guess what? We get to see a replay with this one. And slowed down, and
there is no flag on the play.
There you go. Someone got a bit trigger happy. But a couple of ex-LFL girls going at each other, Demizio and Thurston. Thurston of the Brigade, Demizio of the Angels.
We'll see.
Oh.
That one was definitely forward to Paholek, so that'll be an incomplete
No,
pass.
it's an intercept.
It was an intercept. It was taken on the full by the Queensland defence.
Oh, wow.
So who took that one?
I think it's Juanita Hall.
Wow.
Well, talk about, look, call that Johnny in the spot or call that good tape to understand what was going on. Nonetheless, Queensland are going to take that. And they answer back with a stop of their own.
That was one of the very few trick plays Victoria have run and come up unsuccessful as Cubis finds some space on the run. Sabine Wagner having forced to come up and make the stop. Because on night one it was Sabine Wagner that was tasked with trying to stop Christy Moran, who ran absolutely riot in that game. So far, they've kept it fairly quiet as Cubis again looking to pass option to Marissa Hayes, who has been a constant target. She gets past that first down marker.
And that's a play that's working for him now. And I think Victoria's struggling with this one because this, by my count, isn't a play that Queensland's used throughout this tournament. And they're whipping it out now, and Victoria's going to take a little while so they can adjust and find an answer for that.
So far, Cubis and Co are executing it perfectly, and now Cubis is a flag down, but she throws it. And Riley Hodgson breaks free and will go all the way into the end zone. So that flag becomes vital now as to what that is exactly.
And, Hodgson is making up for lost time, depending on the result of this flag. But, wow, that was just one-on-one coverage, and Hodgson just wins it. And look, it's great ball placement by Cubis. He gets it to the outside. That's, at worst case scenario, is going to be an incomplete, but then Hodgson does the rest to win that.
All the players have marched down this end of the field. We'll see what Jamie Owers comes up with here. He's discussing now with the coach.
Because
the players are still staying down that end of the field, so...
During the play, we have personal foul, number 99, on the defence, striking. Penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. Result of the play is a touchdown.
They're ready for the two-point conversion, so we won't get much analysis, but with the amount of times they're blitzing, they're leaving close to no safety help. So Hodgins has got one-on-one with just her corner, and they're sending her deep and just asking her to make the play, and she's doing it.
So that penalty will go against Shirley Acera for striking. And touchdown stand. So Riley Hodgson, she's having a hell of a game.
Well, they stopped trying to hit her on slants and they just let her go long.
And that makes that intercept from Juanita Hall even more important. We look now again looking for Hodgson. Oh! Well, she can do no wrong.
It's the Hodgson highlight reel right now. That time making a difficult catch look even more difficult with the way she high pointed that. Oh, she's an excitement machine right now.
So the scoreline now in the Women's Australian Gridiron League National Championship Final is Queensland 14, leading Victoria 6.
And despite the touchdown, Andy Miller's going to the numbers, trying to get some confirmation on something. Yeah, and of course we had the penalty for striking. And trying to get some, I think some fans are trying to figure out what number their friends were in, but yeah, obviously the penalty that happened, which before the touchdown, that allows this Queensland special teams to move up and kick this from the halfway line. Now we should also, for those who haven't tuned in, we haven't touched base to some of the issues there regarding the field, and maybe we'll touch base on that after this kickoff.
Yeah, we don't get a lot of time between plays, but we've got a slightly shorter field because of a few reasons. It looked like we were going to have a full-size field, but the kickoff goes down. It's picked up by Victoria. And a great return, but again, the flag is thrown. So that might give Kenny a bit of a chance to explain exactly what's going on with the field size and the goalposts. And
yeah, so for those who've just tuned in, if you missed out, and we might have to wait for this call.
On the return team.
10
10 yards from the spot of the foul. First out.
Holding on the return team. But yes, for those who mightn't have tuned in to the Bronze Bowl game, yeah, unfortunately, we were looking at getting a 100-yard field, and then the officials deemed that the end zones had a few too many potholes in there. Obviously, this is an athletics field, so one corner had discus and stuff like that, and hammer throw. The other corner had shot put, so there was just far too many potholes for it to be safe, so they had to condense the field. So now we're playing on an 80-yard field, which means the kickoffs, they're happening from offense's own 25, so that's why that might have looked funky if you had just tuned in. And then we haven't even started on the goalposts.
We're underway here again. Stephanie Pulis-Kassar gets Demizio in motion. And looks to link with Demizio, but the pass not the best. And, well, there was half a chance there for Ash Brewer.
Yeah, Ash Brewer, the Tucson Devil veteran, talked about her being a key part of stopping this offense that's fast wide as fast as it is vertical.
So we're sort of looking straight into the sun here, where they are positioned on the field at the moment as Demizio again in motion. Looking to pass again, Pulis-Kassar. Looked for Demizio, but well defended once again by Queensland. On this occasion, it was Rochelle Ware.
And that would have been a heck of a highlight catch for Demizio as well if she caught that falling backwards. And timeout, that'll be Victoria's second timeout, which is well timed because now I can talk about the goalposts. And if you've seen the end zone shots there, you'll find there are no posts sticking out of there because, in fact, there are none. And if you saw them, they would be lying down. They are horizontal, not vertical. Unfortunately, this field does not contain its own goalposts, and Gridiron, well, the tournament organisers, they tried. Obviously, we saw the makeshift goalposts that were put in over at Percy Doyle Field, but those were relying on the soccer goalposts to stand up, and the only way these goalposts would have stood up if they were roped down, and the referees deemed that as a tripping hazard in the back of the end zone, so they said no dice to that. So that means the games are going ahead without goalposts, which, yes, if you're thinking about it, it does nullify the opportunity to kick PATs and field goals.
Yeah, it's not a huge issue. We've only seen 2 PAT attempts throughout the tournament. A failed one from Western Australia and a successful one right at the end of the game for Victoria.
Who did come up and ask about it, in fact, and they were disappointed to hear there was no goalpost, so maybe it was factored in their game plan a little more and we lead on.
Given that they've converted just 3 from 12 with the two-point conversions, maybe they were just looking for the PATs in today's game. So Demizio again in motion, so we see the same setup from Victoria once again. Pulis-Kassar looks for the short yardage completion to Kelly. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Fourth down. Well, we know this team doesn't punt.
We know they're definitely not going to punt. We saw a few in the Bronze Bowl game, but we're definitely not going to see it with Victoria. So Pulis-Kassar again, marshalling the troops. He's got Geranium Gale in the backfield with her. Gives it on to Geranium Gale, who spins away from Ware. But Briscoe gets through and finishes off the tackle, and that will turn over possession. And that is the first massive win for the Queensland defence. Victoria unable to get anything going.
Yeah, not only that, that puts Queensland immediately into the Victorian red zone. 6 yards away, in fact. Barely that, probably 5. So, yeah, those are the times where that logic kind of bites you on the backside, but you kind of live and die. You can't really go halfway with that, and here comes Queensland.
Right on the attack, Queensland, a chance to open up a big break. Again, linking up with Marissa Hayes.
Mr. Hayes already Got a number of catches to her name.
There's certainly been a lot through the air, so we've highlighted the Queensland running game for most of this tournament.
Well, that's an interesting point.
Now Cubis, oh, she ran a long way, and then the opportunity opened up for Taylor Roberts, but unable to hit the spot.
Well, I think Queensland also realised they've got probably a bit of a height advantage with some of their receivers here in the red zone, and they're trying to just give them a couple of jump ball opportunities, Taylor Roberts being one of those. Third down, though. Again, let's see if they just go back to what worked throughout the tournament and just hand it off.
Cubis very quickly gets that one away to Hodgson. But the stop was just as quick.
Oh, you sure? I
From
thought I saw a
Webster?
touchdown signal, mate.
Was it touchdown?
Yeah. There
Touchdown,
it is.
there it is.
I was wondering why the lack of excitement, mate. Hodgson reaching over once again. That's the second time she does it. This time she's not short. She gets over. That was a late flag, but I'm almost certain that's a late hit.
Personal foul, number 95 on the defense. Late hit on the quarterback. Result of the play is a touchdown. Penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
So Riley Hodgson,
2 touchdowns.
that's the third touchdown.
Third touchdown. And it's the second.
I thought Webster had
Personal
done
foul.
just enough to stop her short of the end zone, but was across, and that one bobs up. Put down by Cody Fuller, so just the 6 points on this occasion, and it's 20 points to 6 in favour of Queensland over Victoria.
Well, isn't this interesting? We talked about the running game is what pretty much buoyed, Queensland to an undefeated tournament, round robin portion of it anyway. Now they're using all their running backs as decoys, and they've come out and air it out, and it has been a successful tactic. Victoria came out with high pressure looking to stop the run, but now they're looking to have to backpedal, change that up because they're getting receivers crossing against this man coverage with a blitz in front of it. They're getting these rollouts off the play action, which is catching their defense unaware. This is give credit where credit's due. This offensive game plan is actually quite impressive from Queensland.
And you mentioned briefly that the height advantage that Queensland does have over Victoria. Victoria, one of the physically shorter teams in the tournament. But they don't have, I don't know that they've got any players that are over 180 centimetres tall. It's a mid-range kick picked up by Ildama, and Ildama will again look to do her best. A good kick return from Teresa Ildama, who's the only scored the only touchdown for Victoria so far.
She has probably been the strike weapon for Victoria so far. It almost feels like the same sort of way. Victoria's using Demizio as the decoy and trying to get Ildama involved. It's a bit of a game of cat and mouse right now.
Pulis Kassar. Again, getting Demizio in motion. Stepping back to pass, goes long, Demizio! Demizio in space! And that's the first time we've seen her be able to break a big one.
Oh, she can only be a decoy for so long. And that's her move. Like, they've found very different ways off that motion. They'll either use her as a lead blocker, then they'll throw her in the flat, let her see what happens after the catch. In this case, they turn it into a bit of a wheel and get her downfield, but hang on.
We've got a flag and they're coming all the way back. That's unfortunate. We missed that flag, didn't see it out there on the field, and it's against Victoria, so they come all the way back and lose a couple of yards to boot. Instead of being on the attack in the Queensland 20, we're faced with another first down. It's Pulis Kassar again going long, and this time Ildama.
And
Queensland players stay down on the field. I think it's Jess Anderson.
And she has been
Hopefully she's just had the wind knocked out of her there.
Well, she has been pretty bruised and battered. She's been waking up each morning talking about how feel like she's been hit by a truck, and sometimes that's been the case with some of the tackles she's gone on to make. I'd say she's going to need a very long ice bath after this tournament. She gets up though, she'll be all right. But Victoria now, they got caught behind after a couple of big drives from Queensland.
And now off the field, it looks like she might have a bit of a cork to the upper thigh. She's holding high up on that leg.
And we saw a bit of a personnel switch, I think. Is that, once again, I think they're using Riley Hodgson both ways. I think she's the far side corner.
Yildama in motion. Back to Puliskasar again, looking long. Almost into the arms of Torres.
Oh, it well and truly was in the arms, and it was out of the arms. That was a perfect opportunity there for Torres to take that ball away. It was overthrown by SPC. And Torres lets one slip.
It's a third down play for Victoria, needing to get something going. They've got 2 plays. Will they start to look a bit shorter? Puliskasar, she does go the shorter option to Kelly. And she gets back to just beyond where they would have started, so it'll be a 4th and 8. We see the whistles going crazy. And that's the end of the quarter.
Another electrifying quarter between these two teams. I think it's everything we expected, except for the fact of how it's being done. We expected a few more big plays out of the running game for Queensland, and yet it's the passing game that's impressively taken over for that side of the ball. And then on the other side, Demizio's, statistical contribution has been limited, but instead Aldama's been getting it done.
Yeah, well, I think I said pre-game that we weren't going to see another game where there was 80 points scored in the match, but with 26 points in that first quarter, we could very well see that continue, and a similar sort of scoreline that we saw on night 1. If it continues in this vein, if the defence can't make the necessary adjustments. An important play coming up here to start the second quarter for Victoria.
Geranium Gale back in.
Yildama is
as well. That's a powerful backfield.
Further back. The 2 running back option. Turner in motion. Gets it on to Yildama, looking for the run. She goes a long way across field, looking to find a space. Can't find any. Trapped in the backfield on 4th down, and that will see the Queensland offence make their way back out onto the park.
And that play got blown up from the start. Aldama had to start running backwards before that play really even begun. So great work from the Sun Devils defence.
She never got the opportunity to straighten on that play because there was never any space there for her. So the Queensland defence come up with a big play, and they're winning the day at the moment. The pass again, looking for Hayes.
And that Sabine Wagner, who's, again, I think she was highlighted by the Queensland coaches as one of the biggest threats on that defense. They know she can move sideline to sideline. You saw then the coverage skills on display by the safety.
Queensland wasting no time. So Cubis is out, and Evans is onto the park as the quarterback as well, and she goes for the run with her second use of the football.
I've noticed that with the Queensland offense there. Every time they do put a new quarterback in, they like to get them settled with a nice speed option just to sort of get them in the rhythm of the game.
Do you find it interesting that they've brought Evans in, given how well Cubis was going?
Yeah, well, I guess they feel like they don't lose a whole lot, and that time, wow, the defense shows up.
Tia Ricky, Taumoe Falau, they're all involved there.
And look at the
Victorians.
way. Shedding blocks. Evans forced to step up, and she manages to prevent it.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 78 on the defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
I mentioned
Check
Taumoe
that.
Falau.
Half distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Oh, look, I think that's 3 personal fouls now on Victoria, totaling for about 45 yards, a bit less after this half distance of the goal.
Well, we mentioned that their penalties give up about 100 yards per game.
Compared to Queensland's 30, that's a drive.
That does make a huge difference, discipline. Now Moran looking to get on the outside using her speed. Can't get too far, but the chase from Asira and Yip.
Good angles.
Very, very good.
Take poor angles, you're going to get beaten against Moran. That's blown up front side. Moran's to go backside. We've seen how much damage she can do when she's forced to go backside there, but the backside pursuit is wonderful by Asira. Oh, that's good of the referees there, helping Shelley Asira get her chin strap on. They could have easily blown a penalty there if they wanted to. Or a timeout.
You see the shot on Evans.
And here's the physicality of the Victorian defense starting to come to life.
Taumoe Falau comes
Yeah.
through. No, it's just Asira.
Also, first person bloke, yeah, you're right. Taumoe Falau coming in early.
Again to Trias Mono. Again, she's trying to find space and she spins out of that somehow. Trias Mono eventually grabbed by Wagner and put out over the sideline, but she looked like she was going to be stopped in the backfield. Spins out of that tackle from Tia Ricky and keeps going.
She's dead set of female Barry Sanders, but Sabine Wagner, well done to continue and not give up on that play. Or else that could have been trouble. 4th down.
Queensland again giving us no time to breathe. Evans. Oh, wow, that could have been picked off by Kylie West. She's happy just to slap it away and get the ball back for her offense.
Oh, she gets on that. She's down the field. But as I said, Kylie West, we don't call her often, but when we do, it's for something awesome. So, well done. Oh, the drama of this game is outstanding. And look, we saw after a big stand on their goal line or in their red zone last time against Western Australia, Victoria then went quickly to turn the field position and got a huge play the other way. And let's see if they can do that again.
And on the back of the running game of Russell that they were able to blow up field earlier in this game from this similar standpoint. They've got Bliss Love out there at running back at the moment, along with Geranium Gale. They go to Love. The Queensland defence close around her.
Good inside pursuit. Good shuffle pursuit there. The force defender does their job, and the shuffling defenders come back inside.
Emily Maximov's one of the defenders involved there in that tackle. Again, Gale and Demizio in the running back position here, looking to get it to Demizio. Demizio looking to find space, and Jordan Demizio. Oh.
I thought she was gone.
Ooh, that was close.
Oh, Sammy's sideline saving the day for the Sun Devils. But Demizio starting to heat up.
Well, showing that she can do it all as a wide receiver and then in as a running back. There wasn't much in it.
Yeah, once again, good downfield blocking. If they can just get those frontside reaches, Sun Devils are in trouble.
So Russell is out there as they keep using different running backs. Play action and just overshooting Paholek, who throws her arms up in frustration.
Well, see, Pahola, she thought she'd done it right. She'd stalk blocked her her defender, and then she cut it hard to the sideline. But from the quarterback perspective, SBC sees that coverage is working, so she thinks the corner route's going to be much more of a 45-degree angle, and that's where she throws to. But that maths doesn't add up between the two of them.
Ineligible receiver, number 57 on the offense. 5 yards, still first down.
And the penalty to boot, going against Nat Jones.
And touching again, if there's aspects of the run-pass option being included in this Victorian offense, as I said, it can be tough for those offensive linemen if they think what they're reading is a run and if they're getting downfield, then all of a sudden the quarterback's read something else and they're passing it. That leads to that penalty quite frequently.
So Paholek in motion, gives it off to Russell. Russell looking to find space. She does well, gets around Brittany Todd.
So consistent, Russell.
She's been very, very good in this game.
You can just tell she's well coached. She's once again one of that
good block from Sam Kelly there as well in that run play.
One cut type of back.
So now Ildama as a running back. She doesn't pick up too many yards before she stopped though. They are running through different options, and that's something that Victoria seem to have plenty of.
Very versatile.
Versatile backs.
Big hello, actually, tuning in now is Coach Anthony Stone over in the States, who readjusted his body clock so he could be watching this game on time in New York City.
So now it's Gale, the Melbourne Rebels sevens player, and I think she may have got her side a new set of downs. So Geranium Gale, more power option. We've seen plenty of speed used from Victoria so far with great effect, but Geranium Gale, she's all power.
Adds a bit of thunder to this Victorian Storm on offense.
Again, the Queensland defence having to quickly get into position as Demizio in motion. They get it out to Russell. Russell looking to find some space on the outside. Another good run from Russell. Briscoe involved in the tackle.
And again, another solid pickup on first down.
Queensland with a player that has stayed down. It might be Ellie Sharman.
You grab the specs.
It's either 15 or 51.
Well, 51's B. Clement, and I'm pretty sure I saw her running back to the huddle. Indeed it is. And she
Sharman.
Super 7, as she's also known as. I think it was a former number of hers.
Sitting up. Helmet's off.
Along with Cody Fuller and I think Brittany Todd, one of the musically talented people on this Queensland Sun Devil unit.
Involved in that talent show.
The Western Australia one.
on
She might have made a
Scarborough
cameo.
Beach.
And she's up and she's coming back.
Making her way off. She's clutching at the lower back. Ellie Sharman, so maybe just copped a little knock in that tackle.
Looks like she'll be okay.
Victoria after that run from Russell.
The bright,
2nd and 5.
bright side, the sun's starting to dip now. It's a little easier to see the action.
Well, we're not so bright side, perhaps.
Nice one.
Again, looking for the run for Demizio. She looks to find space to the outside. Queensland defenders charging through everywhere to get to her. And she is unable to convert for that first down. Still didn't pick up the number of that torpedo that flew through the screen. May have been Brittany Todd, but that's a real guess. Looking for the run again, Demizio. Demizio this time finds space. She's got plenty of pace. Demizio away, off and gone. Touchdown Victoria, touchdown Demizio.
Yes, Jordan Demizio made her name on defense at the Outback level. Now at the national stage here, she's got a more of an offensive flavor, and what a sweet flavor that is. Look at the way she cuts up this defense, and it's just pure speed.
Christine Torres desperately getting across. But we're coming back, are we?
And the trade-off begins again. Oh, hang on.
Once again we come back. That touchdown doesn't count. The penalty against Victoria.
Did not see the flag on that one. It must have been on the backside, which is unfortunate. That was the sort of revitalizing play this offense needed. It's been stalling.
Come back again. Bliss Love in motion. Gets it to Russell. Russell through the middle. Tanya Russell through the guts. Todd comes up with an important stop.
I think she's going to be about an inch short.
There's not much in that at all. They're moving the sticks.
Not at all.
Huge, huge play, Tanya Russell. That was on 3rd down and long, and she comes up with the goods. So back again, Russell with another chance. This time picked up and drilled into the ground. There's a hole left where Tanya Russell used to be.
Ella Briscoe got sick of Tanya Russell cutting back. And I was just about to say before they... Oh, that's a good shot. Oh, bullied. Before they ran a play, Queensland need to stop over-pursuing. You know, it's an inside zone concept, which means that preys on over-pursuing linebackers. You need to keep your discipline, keep your shuffle steps going, and fill the correct gap to stop the running back from cutting back into it.
So now it's with Bliss Love. Love! Some good yards and another 1st down.
Another flag.
Another flag, though.
Can't spot on camera what it might be. And what these penalties are really proving to be the difference.
Number 87 on the offense. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Still 2nd down.
Isabella Parholic and Victoria now with a player that's stayed down on her knees. I think it may actually be Bliss Love. So she got up and she's walked to the position that she's collapsed in there. So it is indeed Bliss Love. She's slowish to her feet. She bounced up after getting a solid shot, and I thought, how tough is she? But she only got so far before she went back to her knees.
Try to get her back. Once again, the sportsmanship between the two coaches. Look at that, head coach and assistant coach on both sides, looking after Bliss Love. But you can't help but feel like penalties is separating these two teams a fair lot at the moment.
The discipline is really costing Victoria, and it is looking like, as you say, one of the big differences between these two teams. 20 points to 6 is the current scoreline, but yeah, that Demizio touchdown counts, and 20 to 14, and it's a real ball game.
There's a Demizio lining up in the deep eye. She's at least 10 yards back.
It's a long way back. And she does get the ball. Unable to find the same space that she has on a couple of occasions.
It's an interesting depth.
And the tackle is completed by Rachel Ware.
The usual standard depth for a running back is about 7 yards there. Maybe they're accounting a bit more because they're running out of this pistol formation. But that means that's 10 yards until she gets back to the line of scrimmage.
2nd and long for Victoria.
Dronium Gales is... Gales, let's see if she changes up her stance, or is that Teresa Aldama?
Illegal motion, number 3 on the offense. Penalty is declined, 3rd down.
against Jasmine Coleman. And Coleman was the wide receiver. Way out on this this near side to us, the camera side. She was moving about a bit, so I'm guessing that's what it was all about, Azil Dharma. She looks to skip to the outside, but again, the Queensland defence have made that adjustment and not allowing any space to the speed of Victoria.
And a lot of it, I think, Queensland defence for the most part is easing off and only sending their 2 D linemen, only creating pressure that, which is allowing all their linebackers to take appropriate angles. They understand that for the most part, all the Victorian big plays come over to the edges. So when you blitz, you take the chance where if you get beaten, they're going to get around the edge, and it's a big play.
At 4th and Geraldton, they've got to find something big here. Victoria, they've got Ildama and Demizio back as running backs. It's Pulis Kassar, drops back, has to just drop it over the top to Demizio because of the pressure that came through from Juanita Hall. And hasn't she come up with a couple of big plays in this game?
She has. I still think about that turnover she created deep in the
Illegal
red
lineman
zone.
downfield, number 50 on the offense. Penalty is declined. First down.
Again, that RPO offense creating issues on this occasion for Talita Tapui.
And Queensland have an opportunity to take a real firm hold here. That, I think it was a real punch in the gut. That Demizio touchdown that got called back. Queensland could really get a firm hold on the trophy right now if they can put one in here leading into the half.
So Evans is a stop on this play very, very early, so
Full start.
False start, number 4 on the offense. 5 yards, still first down.
Cody Fuller sets Queensland back 5 yards. You see Moran next to Evans here. Again, she's just looking to run a block as Evans skips to the outside. She's going to run and be stopped.
Yeah, she got a couple of yards out of that. I think next time if they come back to that play, Evans, take a mental note because I think Taylor Roberts will get open now. And that linebacker came to play the quarterback very quickly.
Good shot there from Clara. Yep. Evans again, skipping to the outside, looking to pass, can't lick up with Marissa Hayes. She's been a constant target in this opening half for Queensland.
Yeah, and they go to that rollout again with both Roberts on the high-low read, Roberts to Hayes going across the field, but rhythm not quite there in that one. And here's a third down. Victoria loves sending heat on this down.
They do just that, but it's Queensland that link up and they rush away with Taylor Roberts. And you did make the call to have a look up for Roberts. You did make the mental note, Lauren Evans. She made the necessary adjustments and Queensland benefit with another touchdown.
Well, that's a bit of homework there. They know Victoria love to run high pressure on 3rd and long. They call the double slants on the backside, or it will be front side for Lauren, the lefty. And Taylor Roberts, well, just no one's there marking her. You get the ball out quick enough, trust your receiver to do the rest.
It's a big turnaround. As we see the 2-point conversion unsuccessful. But we saw, of course, Victoria streak away and score a touchdown down the other end of the field. Declined because of a penalty. Queensland blow down the other end of the park after they lose possession of the football and very quickly put on another 6 points. And that's 26 points to 6 in favour of Queensland over Victoria. We go into the final minute of this first half, and that's a huge blow with the momentum changing. Touchdown pretty much right on half-time.
Yeah, we've still got a minute to go, and Demizio is the lone special teams kick return touchdown scorer in this tournament. And I talk about momentum and going in with the last big play of the half and how much that can dictate the second half. I still stand true to that. And right now, if Demizio can pull out another Jordan special in the last 58 seconds of this half, they'll go a long way to starting this comeback.
She's one of the kick returners. It's back. Ildama the other. Ildama has got the lone touchdown for Victoria in this match. Fuller just goes the mid-range option. Grabbed by Webster. No special teams return.
Still got, what, probably 56, 55 seconds after that play. Got plenty of opportunity. And another message being passed off to any Aussie player listening into the game. Coach Stone has said, the Second Skull Company said, if you go to the website at www.secondskull.com, use the promo code Coach Stone, you'll get $10 off all their football equipment. So, suss that out.
So Victoria, can they come up with something before the half? Pulis Kassar gets it to Demizio. Demizio looking for some blocking upfield, can't get any. So just gets out and stops the clock.
She's threatening. She's threatening, and right now the angles...
And limping here, Demizio.
Yeah, the angles by Rochelle Ware, actually Brewer, they're good enough to just race her to the sideline, and she's making yardage, but she can't turn upfield, so they're limiting her gains to 4 yards at a time.
So again, Demizio, and again she looks for the sideline. And Brittany Todd rushes out. Well, we said she was a missile earlier. That time the missile hits its target.
Oh, and Demizio's feeling that one. I've got the feeling they're starting to get a bit predictable as they're desperately trying to just get the ball to their big gun with the dying seconds of the half. And Brittany Todd, she realizes this come up and just completely sells out to that play.
See, Jordan Demizio just got skull dragged off the field by the coaching staff. And now Bliss Love, she'll again look for the sideline here to stop the clock.
She's another one this Queensland defense can't sleep on. She's got breakaway speed. She's awfully similar to Kestra Trias-Mono in that ability to stop, change, and get direction. And then on top of that, she's got the breakaway speed to turn it into something special. So,
fourth down. I think we're down to the final 30 seconds. Have they got any trick shots up their sleeve? Pulis Kassar gets it to Ildama, and that will turn the ball over to Queensland. And just unable to get anything going on that drive, Victoria. They kept running and running.
Yeah, this will give us a good indication now of Queensland's mentality right now. There's, what, maybe 30 seconds left in the half. They'll, if they choose to go for it here, kind of shows what sort of mindset they're going into the second half with. They're hungry, or if they're satisfied with this lead and will just play conservative to see out the half.
Well, if they can stretch this lead before the...
Well, hang on.
Looks like that might be the half, is it? Everyone making their way. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the WA Athletic Stadium. We've got the second half of the Women's Australian Gridiron League National Championship Final between Queensland and Victoria. Queensland in a pretty good position at the moment, leading 26 points to 6. I'm joined by Kenny Andreas, the man whose knowledge, well, he makes me look like a bit of a spud, but he's joining me. And
good thing I like potatoes, mate. Let's get the second half underway.
We're ready to go as Demizio picks it up and see if what she can come up with during the kick return as someone turns the volume button the wrong way.
And Demizio hasn't had the most lucky first half, and that trend continues. She's found herself under a pile of maroon bodies.
Because she
or maroon, as I'm led to believe it's probably pronounced.
Picked up a little injury at the back end of that first half, but it's good to see that she's come back out for the second. She's going to be vital if Victoria are to find a way to get back into this contest. And find Russell. Russell through the middle. Good yardage from Russell, and she's only just short of a first down.
Queensland here almost playing a bit of an underlook with that backside defensive end widening quite a bit, the weak side defensive end. In this case, will be Tony Connolly.
Gale switches. Now DeMizio moving. Pass goes out and incomplete.
It isn't a shame that wasn't the actual weak side run it originally feigned to be, because they had the numbers advantage on the weak side. And Victoria, I think they're just a bit of a shot in the arm away from getting back in this.
Yeah, just towards the back end of that second quarter, it looked like they got that shot from DeMizio, but taken away because of a penalty. Again, reverse here, pitched out to DeMizio. Not DeMizio, that's Rachel Cribb.
They did this sort of, I think it was against New South Wales, maybe it was Western Australia, but in the second half when they needed to get things going, they went to this new series, which was this tight package with these big, long looping motions behind, and they used that to sort of get the drive going before they go back to what they did best.
Fourth and short. Look for Gale in the backfield, and that's exactly who they give it to. She'll try and power away across, and there she goes, Geranium Gale. So much power, and she puts it on display once again, and leaving some Queensland players in her wake.
And they just play some nice block in there, and then they just leave her to have free reign at the linebackers, and look what happens when that happens. Geranium Gale. What a name. It sounds like a superhero. It sounds like it's a new character in the next Avengers.
It's Tony Connolly that's been unable to regain her feet after the whirlwind gale blows through for a Victorian first down.
You see Lon Tulloch back in the defensive huddle, conferring with our defensive players, and they're going to continue halting this Victorian offense, which has only put up 6 points so far.
They've looked dangerous, Victoria, but as you say, so far they've only been able to put up the one score. Goes back to Pulis-Cassar. She looks to get it to Gale, and Gale that time is chopped down.
By B. Clement.
A low tackle.
You see B. Clement playing in the tackle position. Sheds off the block and doesn't give up on the play. Great play by the Bayside Ravens defensive tackle.
Again, they go to Gale, and Gale steps off the right foot, showing a little bit of finesse to go with her power. But they pile in.
And there's whistles coming in. Victoria taking exception to some of the late defenders by Queensland.
We'll down it here, it'll be third. About 4.
Well, they've been going hard with Gale. They're probably about due for a play action, but will they save that for fourth? If it comes to fourth.
And they look to get Gale on the outside, and he's caught and hit solidly there by Ash Brewer. Make sure that she doesn't get anything there, and that will bring up fourth.
Feels like the pace of this offense has slowed down quite a bit. And they're getting DeMizio back on the field for Gale.
And again, she's very deep.
Awfully deep.
She is the target. They go to DeMizio. she can't get to anywhere near that first down marker, and that will see the Queensland offence make their way out onto the field.
Yeah, they might just need to find a new way to get things going. The two ways they've tried to get it.
Well, good day, ladies and gentlemen. We are back at the WA Athletic Stadium, and it does appear that Samantha Kelly is okay, as Queensland throw an incomplete pass on their first down. The word we are receiving is that she has fainted, and she is okay. So any family and friends out there watching on the stream that are obviously concerned about Sam's well-being, the word we are getting at the moment is that she is okay.
It's good to hear.
So Queensland back underway as the pass goes to Hayes, and Victoria come up with the stop.
Yeah, Hayes hasn't been able to really... Not Hayes, sorry. Evans hasn't been able to really land some of these rollout passes to her offside. And they might want, if they're wanting to run rollouts to that right side, they might want to go back to the right-handed quarterback in Casey Cubis. She's having trouble getting those hips around.
Evans, that time, finds space in behind for Roberts. Roberts looking to break free. Roberts beats another one. But the Victorian defence comes from behind to prevent her from getting her second touchdown of this match.
And hasn't this been a bit of a story of some of the unknowns? Hayes, Roberts, and unknowns as far as the context of this tournament there. That time, they just let Evans just stand in the pocket and make a throw, and she seemed a lot more comfortable that time. Lands a fantastic throw.
Surely Asira that actually made the final tackle, so she's had to work very hard to get across there to make that. It's Queensland again looking for Roberts through the middle of the park. That time unable to get the completion, but that will only bring up second down.
Here comes Trias Mono. Into receiver.
Into a wide receiver position, so a different sort of role for Trias Mono.
That was the right route there and the right idea. As I said, the Victorians, they're playing pure man-to-man coverage and without any safety help because they're choosing to send more of them. So Queensland are happy to take these quick throws. Trias Mono probably just a bit short there, and Evans had trouble locating her, but that's the right area of the field to go.
Once again, Evans stands in wait again, quickly throws it up and overshoots the target. On this occasion was Riley Hodgson, who's grabbed 3 already in this match. That time Evans unable to hit her.
4th down now.
So Victoria needing a stop here. Evans and getting through. A great stop there, Kylie West.
The theme continues. Old Kylie West. She comes through and makes big clutch plays.
4th down sack.
Kylie Clutch West. What a huge play. As the temperature continues to look at that, coming off the edge. Good angle. As the temperature continues to drop so much so that GA chairman in front of me is even rugged up, and he's a brave man.
Oh, looking the short yardage completion there for Christy Turner, but she put it down.
Now it looks like, well, we'll see if the trend continues, but Victoria might be trying to do the same thing, get some of these quick passes, knowing that they've got one-on-one coverage underneath.
Jenna Hour out there now as a running back. Bullis Kazar goes very long, and I think that's Ildama.
Indeed.
Has taken that one for a long range.
It's a shame
completion.
We won't get an opportunity to really take a look at it there, because that would have been a blown coverage. We're going to try. And as I said, man coverage, and someone's just completely lost Ildama out of a spot there.
So again, Pullis Kassar drops back. Again goes long, throws it very high. Well, it was almost an up and under, a bomb
We've got these
thrown by Pulis Kassar.
trying to go there. She was under pressure, delayed blitz by Ella Briscoe.
Brittany Todd's eyes lit up. The thoughts that she might be able to grab a pick, but
Yeah, she was struggling with a groin injury for the last couple of games. Looks like she's okay, particularly with the way she came up and made that tackle late in the second.
Pulis Kassar. Again, the whistles are blowing. So you're not going to have a play there.
False start, number 57 on the offense. 5 yards, still second down.
Nat Jones. Somewhat unhappy day for Nat so far. Another penalty against her.
Queensland showing blitz.
Again, Pulis Kassar drops back, gets underneath it. Ildama just had to stop and try and go back to take the catch and couldn't grab it, couldn't reel it in.
Torres playing with a bit of fire there in the back end. That safety position, you've got to be the deepest person. And with that, be in position. It's a really good deepest person, so you are in a position to attack the football.
See Victoria once again setting up and see if they go long again. Looks like that's what they're looking at, although they go the short option out to Bliss Love, who puts it down. And that'll bring up 4th down for Victoria.
Well, they're sending that whole drive, they'd pretty much sent at least 2 people deep on vertical patterns against a single high safety look. So they're hoping one of those 2 can beat their man coverage.
Pulis Kassar just gets Bliss Love to swap sides. Goes short to DeMizio and she puts it down.
Just struggling to find rhythm right now, the Victorians. And Queensland doing a good job just in coverage. You know, they're playing with their 2 down linemen and they're just letting them go to work, intermittently throwing blitzes in there. And the underneath coverage is just wreaking havoc.
The Queensland offense back out there again, and now it's with Moran. Moran, it's a name we haven't said too much in this game, but here she goes. Moran's away, and finally we get to see Moran in open space, one of the few times that she's run the ball. She gets it then, and you see the heads of the Victorians drop as Moran gets her first touchdown of this match. She's been a superstar all tournament, and you can see there why.
And once again, this play starts all the way on the left and is going to come back all the way on the right. And the vision by Moran on display, but also the blocking. Look at all these Maroon bodies coming downfield. No one giving up the ball. Even Evans is down there. The quarterback coming in to take away running lanes. 2-point conversion. Intercepted.
Intercepts the 2-point conversion attempt.
And yeah, just a look at that. Moran touchdown again. And everyone starts to be pursuing, but when she cuts back, all those bodies are there, so all those plays are pursued. You're just seeing that wake of bodies come down from the blockers from Queensland. A great team effort there. And you see Moran after the touchdown, she's pointing at all her players back there individually, congratulating them and thanking them for their hard work.
Lauren Evans, Sarah Schultz was certainly involved downfield as well. The 55. And at 32 points to 6 in favour of the Queensland Sun Devils over the Victoria Eagles. They've got both hands on the cup and they're just about to lift it, the Sun Devils.
Still got a quarter in cash to go.
There's certainly time, but it's a commanding lead now. As Cody Fuller sets the ball on the tee. We're about ready to get underway. Victoria need to find something with their offense, and they need to do it now. Fuller drives that in low. It's sitting around, and a chance for Queensland to get on the ball. There'll be a pile of bodies.
I think I saw Rochelle Ware snake that away. Have Queensland come away with this? It's suggesting that's the case.
And Queensland go up, and they have the ball, and your eyes are working fantastically well, Kenny.
Oh, I think Rochelle Ware just pulled the old bottom of the pile. I'm almost certain Victoria probably had that, and Rochelle Ware's not given up and just taken that. Oh, you hear all the stories about being at the bottom of those piles of loose balls. That's an example there. And that's just straight hunger. That was a Victorian ball, and I'm almost certain Rochelle Ware stole that.
Well, we've got both Evans and Cubis out there. Cubis into wide receiver.
They've linked up for a touchdown already this tournament. Oh,
wow.
What's this?
We've got trick play there from Queensland as Evans moved up, put Moran into quarterback, and they looked for a reversal.
No, you know what that was? For anyone who's watched the Super Bowl recently, someone might want to give the give Philadelphia a call. That was the Philly special, or at least tried to be the Philly special. Instead, it was the Philly failed.
The last part didn't work, and they just give it to Moran and say, take it forward and get us back to where we started, and that's exactly what she does. So I'll take it forward to 3rd and 10 now. Maybe a little bit further. I think they're going to try it again.
I think they are.
Back to Moran. Now to Cubis. Cubis.
No, that's Moran.
Cubis doesn't have it. Moran
been,
still got it. She sold me.
You've been fooled. And that was probably a series. I wouldn't be surprised if they said, if that fails, we'll come back to it a couple of plays later and fake the fake.
So 4th down for Queensland, as it looks like they're going to have some fun. Back to Evans. Evans overshoots, and that will see Victoria come back up with the football. 32 points to 6 now. Victoria has the ball after not being able to get it after the kickoff.
And we talk about, this whole tournament, a lot has been talk about Western Australia being the fresh face because they have just come off their inaugural season, their first ever season. Whereas Victoria, whilst they've had a women's league for a little while now, this is their first participation in the AGL.
Yeah, their first state team, and to make it to the finals, a fair effort. Pulis Kassar looking to wind up and fired that one in towards Jasmine Coleman, but hit the grass just in front of her. Incomplete.
Of course, we saw Jasmine Coleman score her first touchdown of the tournament last game.
And no wasted time at all for Victoria. Again, firing that one into a pack of bodies. And it is taken by one of the Victorian ones. It's Christy Turner. Makes it 3rd and 8. She stopped very quickly.
Might not win that game, but it's still a heck of a catch in the middle of the teeth of the defense.
This time going a little longer. Pulis Kassar, but overthrows the 3 players that were running through for Victoria. Unable to find any of them. And now 4th down for the Eagles. If they're going to fly, it's got to be now. Pulis Kassar, she's looking long. She picks out Paholek, but doesn't get away from the Queensland safety. Tiafi Thurston takes the intercept, and Queensland back with the football.
Tiafi takes Thurston. She studied tape and tries to get better every week. She's one of the hardest workers I know, and she gets rewarded there with an interception. I think Queensland actually moved to a bit of zone defense on their own that time. Came up with an intercept, so another opportunity. Let's see. It looks like Cubis will stay on the sideline and leave the Philly special in the playbook.
So back to Evans. Evans throws incomplete. Looking for Hayes, who's another one that's had a big game.
Trading Bayside running backs now. Out goes Moran. Here comes Trias Mono.
It's a fair set of weaponry that the Queenslanders do have at their disposal, and Trias Mono gets away from one. Chopped down on that occasion by Jamie Atene.
Atene, another one who's been a physical performer throughout this tournament.
So Evans looks for the option out to Trias Mono. She looks to spin away from one, but isn't able to get too many extra yards.
Juggling that pitch there is Trias Mono. Eventually corrals it and brings it in. That'll bring up a third down conversion opportunity here for the Sun Devils. But last third down conversion, Victoria stood strong. Another change of backs. Looks like Elizabeth Ulale will be coming on. And that'll be the change of quarter as well.
The end of the quarter, so three-quarter time, 32-6 in favour of the Queensland Sun Devils over the Victoria Eagles. We've got 10 minutes remaining in this Women's Australian Gridiron League National Championship final. Queensland at the moment in control. But they do have fourth down. The Victorian offence could be on the field very shortly if they're able to come up with a stop on this play.
And the sideline for Victoria is still vocal. One more, they're saying.
The last play is Evans gets it to Trias Mono. Trias Mono, she looks for the marker. She looks beyond the marker. Gets out of bounds. And a first down for Queensland. Conversion there by Kestra Trias Mono.
Number 33, Kestra Trias Mono getting the first down.
She was running for her life there with Essera chasing it down backside, but just a lot of speed there. And once again, when you blitz as many as you do, it means you lose the ability for people to take angles to the sideline.
And look out here, Hodgson. Hodgson for 4, and she'll get it. A fourth touchdown of this final. Riley Hodgson.
The beast has been unleashed. Had a quiet tournament so far. Got a couple of two-point conversions, even a touchdown early, but just had a bit of trouble with her hands earlier in the early days, day one and day two, but that's all coming back in spades now.
I think we mentioned on night one that she's coming back from a fairly serious injury. She had an ACL injury and is making her way back. And we thought that she would get better as this tournament went on, and that she has peaked at the right time as the two-point conversion. Kestra Trias Mono gets across to convert that, and that makes it 40-6 in favour of Queensland over Victoria. The Victorian player has stayed down. Slow to her feet after that two-point conversion is to Sarah Stevens. The Queensland fans out there, I think they can safely start to celebrate now with a 34-point margin here into the fourth and final quarter of this final. Queensland will kick off and get us back underway. Victoria will just be hoping to recover the ball after what happened from the last kickoff.
Demizio is still back there. Still would love the idea of a reverse here. Especially with Aldama and Demizio back there.
Yes. Because Victoria are a little battered as well throughout this game. A few of their key players picking up little injuries and hobbles and whatnot, and it's another shortish kick there. It's picked up. There's a looking to break free now. A great kick return in the end. It was a difficult one. Eventually picked up by Demizio, and she shows all her skill and class to turn a difficult kick-off reception into a good game.
Yeah, it's always tricky with the kick returns, and I particularly find in women's and Colts at the moment with the kicking game still developing, because you find a lot of these sort of squib kicks really prevent a lot of big returns happening.
Pulaskasart, she drops back to pass. She looks up long, and Ildama, she just tripped there right at the vital moment.
And it was such a gorgeous pass into the corner. She stepped up and was looking like Aaron Rodgers there, and Ildama just overran it a bit, and she's actually gone over her ankle, I think. She's been outstanding tonight.
Seems to be walking fine. Rochelle Ware once again was right there jogging on the spot, looking to make sure straight away that she was all right as soon as the play's finished.
And, I mean, Victoria should have time. I mean, SBC, Queensland's only rushing 2, and they're backing their defensive coverage against these wide receivers, so that means the pressure's on the receivers there to win their battles.
Victoria call a timeout.
Looks like a lot of the Western Australian crowd is still here for this national championship.
Yeah, they're stuck around for the final. It's good to see. There's Queensland looking to close this one out, and Victoria looking to add some respectability to the scoreline.
See, one of those people's Kev Wilson, the head coach for the WA Raiders. He's done it at the junior level. He's played at the senior level, WA, and he's also coached the junior WA Raiders. So he's got his fingerprints all over this WA Raider representative program.
Well, second down, 2nd and 10 for Victoria when they come back out.
Have an interesting little dance-off between Jamie Owers and Andy Miller right now discussing something.
So Victoria with this 2-back set. Russell and Love. Plenty of chatter. They get it out with Love, who looks to find some space through the middle. And we get that ruck and maul sort of scenario as they try and push towards that first down marker.
Just thinking of they might have got a in the backfield of Russell and Love.
So Victoria again. Love with some space. Love with some pace. And Love all the way into the end zone.
Oh, and I love seeing her at open space, bless Love. She looks so much faster than everyone else when she's in open space. I think it's those legs just churning away. And that's we're talking about the angles that the Queensland Sun Devils have been taking all day, and that's prevented big plays like that sometimes. You can't defend against pure speed.
So now they look for the 2-point conversion. Again with a similar setup, and again they go to Bliss Love, and Love Oh. Hit solidly, but I think she's got across, has she?
No signal yet. No, I think
Nope.
she's short. The right shoulder of Jessica Anderson denying that 2-pointer.
She was hit short and obviously hit the deck before she was able to dive across the line. So that's an incomplete 2-point conversion. And it's 40 points to 12 in favour of Queensland over Victoria after that successful drive.
And that score has also made sure this clock will stay regulation timing for at least another Queensland score if they so get there. .805 remaining in the last quarter of the 2018 Waggle.
Just looking over to the Victorian sideline, it looks like Samantha Kelly is out and sitting on the sideline. So
It's good to see that she didn't need to be taken away in the ambulance.
yeah, she's changed out of her gear and into the civilian garb, but she's doing well. And sitting on the sideline supporting her teammates through the final 8 minutes of this game, and a bit of space here. So Queensland, they have stepped out though. There's Rochelle Ware.
Taylor Roberts, in fact. Lead 7, yeah.
Yeah, just went out there.
See the left foot there, just slipping on the sideline, and geez, at night we really benefit from these white lines, don't we?
It's certainly a lot easier to see than the yellow lines we've been putting up with for the first 3 nights of competition. Cubis back out there for Queensland, and Tia Ricky giving chase, but chopped down by Rachel Webster.
There's the defensive backs, Webster and Sabine Wagner. They've been outstanding. They'll certainly get a look in at our back selection the way they've played this tournament.
Queensland once again with Cubis, Hodgson moving. And that's who they look to. Hodgson once again comes up with the completion and a good catch. Sabine Wagner unable to come up with a stop. She's not too happy. Sabine Wagner, she's tried her heart out.
What's that, 7 receptions for 4 touchdowns, a 2-point conversion for Riley Hodgson?
It's a fair effort.
Not a bad day of business.
Trias Mono, she's grabbed, put on the hurdy-gurdy by Veronica Taumoi-Falau.
She's been outstanding today. Taumoi-Falau, obviously, there's been a couple of big runs that put a blemish on this defense, but Taumoi-Falau has shown the ability not only to win at the point of attack, but have that closing speed on the backside. On the back end, I should say, to chase down running backs.
Cubis, a little too flat there to Hodgson. Ball hits the deck. We'll have a 3rd down.
Both backs in the backfield here. Let's see if they're into block or if they're going to run routes.
Still plenty of noise out there as Trias Mono gets the ball, finds that 1st down.
Oh no, it's double sticks.
Can't get there.
Yeah, well, I did say whether they were going to run routes or block, but they run the ball. Obviously, they're in charge of the clock right now, the Queensland Sun Devils. 4th down here.
So 4th and 5. And see what they've got up their sleeve for this play. Cubis again, Hodgson in motion. She drops back. She looks for Hodgson. Oh, she just needed one extra step.
And that motion there, so they've got a man-on-man coverage, but then the safety's there. So Hodgson on that motion will run up and then turn that pretty much into a corner route. So she'll stem up, She needs to outpace the corner and then run away from the safety. And she almost did it.
Yeah, she did both. She had two pursuing, but just up with the throw.
That can be really hard, especially if the ball is placed on the, if you throw into the open side with the ball placed on the opposite hash, because that receiver's got plenty of room. So as a quarterback, it's one of the safe throws you make. You just throw it to that big open patch of grass and let your receiver run under it.
Yeah, and essentially from the quarterback's point of view, they've got to land it on a 5-cent piece because there's not a lot of margin for error. And better to come up with an incomplete than a pick. There's Gale back out onto the field, and another hard, tough, physical run from Geranium Gale. I'll give you the hot tip, she does not mind the hard, tough, physical stuff. Geranium Gale, she's still a bit of a monster out there, the way that she runs.
She's still incredibly young. I do hope that she gets to stay in this sport. I'd love to see her develop over the next couple of tournaments.
And that ball comes loose, and just having to dive on it and clean it up. There, Pulis Gassar. Tanya Russell comes off, and I think that's Jenna Auer has made her way out onto the field. That'll be third down.
Ooh.
Goes to Gale. Gale gets away from one, but she's still going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
I'm not certain, but I think that might have been Nat Jones laying a beast block on B. Clement. And it's hard to be a beast in pass protection, like to lay physical hits in pass protection, and Nat Jones just did it. You could hear it all the way from here in the stands. We're a good 50 meters away.
We're at fourth down, and we've got a timeout here in the fourth quarter, with Queensland leading 40 points to 12 in the Women's Australian Gridiron League National Championship final. The defending champs in control of this one, Kenny Andreas.
Indeed they are, and you know, there's a couple of run plays. They're just going to keep stringing together the run plays here, and I think for them, the main concern is they just want to be able to take everyone on the plane healthy now. You're already going to have to 2:22, so the time's actually running down considerably significantly. So as I said, a couple of run plays away if they can stop this conversion. But look, for the Victorian fans, they've had a heck of a welcome, Victorian Eagles, into the Women's Australian Gridiron League, making the finals on their first showing and doing it with such excitement on the way. They've produced us with so many memorable plays. And I think this is only good for the sport, particularly for the women's side of things moving forward. We got 4 strong states, and we hope that only continues. And one day we hope to see ACT jump back in, and with the 5 girls from South Australia, we hope that they can get a team going next tournament. Maybe one day Tasmania too.
So fourth down, dropping back, looking for the long pass, going over the top, and well done. Well done indeed. Isabella Paholek with a fantastic completion there, long range on the fourth down.
Our Outback experience on show there. The ability to fight with the defensive back and then shake her off and high point that ball. Well done.
There was the same sort of catch we've seen Sally O'Hagan doing for WA. Just beautiful body position, and they try to put the same on again.
Duffy Thurston this time draped all over her.
What was that matchup? I think last night, wasn't it, with O'Hagan and Thurston?
I think it was Jessica Anderson.
Anderson was
the big matchup until they put Riley Hodgson on her. And that was a tough ask for Anderson. O'Hagan was really running amok.
Once again, dropping back, looking for that long play, and that will be picked off by Jess Anderson. We just mentioned her, and she's taken the intercept.
Her ears must have been burning, Donnie. Wanted to make a play. It looks like both safeties are going to get on the stat sheet here for turnovers for the Sun Devils. And look, I know there was a couple of plays. There was a huge play there, and that was an intercept just then. But there's been some big arms in this tournament. You know, this time we're seeing Pulis Kassar show off her arm strength there. And obviously, I've talked about how impressed I am with Lou Devine from Western Australia as well. And then New South Wales, Rachel O'Sullivan showed some oomph in some of those throws. And then obviously we've got the two outback quarterbacks for the Sun Devils. The Ida quarterback, and it's one of the last positions to come along when you introduce a country to a sport or a new group of people to the sport. And we're starting to see those quarterbacks take that jump.
In Queensland, they take a knee.
Into the victory formation now.
So they are done for the night as they look to wind that clock down.
Looks like Casey Cubis will get the honours of taking the victory knees.
As we now keep an eye on the white hat for the ball raised in the air for the celebrations to begin for the Queensland Sun Devils. Kenny Andreas gets ready to make his mad dash down onto the field to try and grab one of the victorious Queenslanders.
Before I do, man, I do want to mention it's been such a pleasure calling alongside you this week, this past week, mate. Welcome to the sport.
Thanks, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure. I continue to pinch myself that I'm here calling the national final. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. The Queensland Sun Devils are the Women's Australian Gridiron League national champions with a 40-12 victory over the Victoria Eagles. The Eagles, they were valiant in defeat, but ultimately the class of the Queensland Sun Devils was just too much here at the WA Athletic Stadium. A simply sublime performance where it must be said it was a different kind of performance from the Sun Devils tonight, with a lot of stuff through the air. We've seen Christy Moran and Kestra Trias-Mono be the two main weapons for Queensland throughout this tournament. But tonight it was the Riley Hodgson show with 4 touchdowns. Taylor Roberts also with a touchdown, and Christy Moran with one of her few opportunities grabbed one. For the Victorians, Teresa Ildama and Bliss Love, the 2 touchdowns. We have Riley Hodgson, I believe, down with Kenny Andreas. Or maybe not. She's just making sure she's camera presentable, I think, Riley Hodgson. So, Kenny, down to you.
Riley Hodgson. Look, yeah, you started your struggles at the start of the tournament, but you've come back and you made up for lost time with a heck of a performance in the big game.
Yeah, it was a bit of a slow start. I think that's just the travel and just getting used to the time difference, and then, the offense actually going against, a defense we've never seen before, getting into it. But I think, the girls just really clicked today, and we're just all in the same spot.
Look, I think most people, as we're seeing the video bummers come through, most people thought we were going to see a heavy dose of Special K and Kestra Trias-Mono with the running game that's been so dominant with the tournament. Then you guys come out flying and sailing that ball. Was that kind of the game plan coming into this into this game here to sort of shock everyone and go through the air?
I think we've always had a strong air game, but our girls on the ground they do their job so well that it's always shone. And I think today, getting into the air kind of caught Vic by surprise because we weren't able to actually showcase that the last 3 games really. But that's not because we weren't there, but because our girls on the ground are just so good at it.
Sure, and finally, listen, it'll sink in soon, but you guys have done the undoable for Queensland. You've got the 3-peat. What's it mean for you ladies leading the charge and finally doing it for Queensland? I
think we're all just stoked, not so much for the win just for us, but for the state as well. Like, it's just, it's an unbelievable feeling. 3 in a row for us, undefeated as well. So, it's just a great feeling.
Before I'll let you get celebrating in the back of the line. Appreciate it. Heck of a game. Congratulations, Riley. And for the last time, back to you, Donnie.
Thank you very much, Kenny Andreas. Been an absolute pleasure. Oh. Hello? Yes, Kenny Andreas, been an absolute pleasure working with you over the last week. It's been a tremendous tournament. And it culminates here with the Queensland Sun Devils 40-12 winners over the Victoria Eagles to be named the national champions once again for the third time in a row. Earlier on today we saw Western Australia win the Bronze Bowl with a 16-0 win over the New South Wales Coyotes. It's been a bit of a war of attrition. I'm sure there'll be a lot of bruised bodies across all four teams. A tremendous tournament, and for the Queenslanders, certainly a tremendous result, but I think every team will have things to look forward to in the future. This Victorian team, of course, the first time they have played in the national championships, and they make it to the final, and a good account of themselves as well. Going down 40-12 to the Queensland Sun Devils, who are our champions. That's all from me, Donnie Bell. And until next time, we'll see you then.